you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
All right, everybody, the player versus bot experiment has reached its conclusion. It is time to dive into the final results and break things down. For those who may not have seen the start of this, I took on a challenge to see who is better, myself or Xbot. And to do that, we partnered with NFTy Arcade. NFTy Arcade has a bunch of cool things. They've got a portfolio where you can track earnings across multiple games, things like that. But one of the things that they have that's relevant to what we're doing here is they have a scholar market. Typically, when you have cards in Splinterlands, if you want to rent them out, you put them on the market, you get a flat fee for them. This provides a different approach where you can actually delegate entire decks to scholars, and instead of a flat fee, you get revenue, like a percent of the revenue that they earn with those cards. So NFTy Arcade was awesome and set us up with two exact same decks in the same league, starting at the same league, playing on the same season. I went head to head versus Xbot to see who could perform better as a scholar and see who's better, player or bot. So let's jump in here and take a look at these initial results here. So here is the Dark Squirrel account. This was my account. 424 battles, won exactly half of them. Got into Diamond 2. We were using gold level cards, mid gold level cards, like level 5 rare summoners. Did all right. Really struggled at I honestly did pretty good getting to Gold League. We started in Silver, did pretty good getting to Gold, then kind of hit a wall, then did pretty good about getting into Diamond after we kind of adjusted to Gold, so then really hit a wall at the end. So how did the bot do? The bot beat me. Absolutely beat me as we pull this up here. It played 540 battles, so it played 116 more. Won a slightly higher percentage than I did, and gained about 350 more rating. It was honestly, it kind of was in the lead for most of the season. So I think I did better the first day, got into gold a little sooner, then just got crushed by the bot going through the beginning of gold, beginning and middle of gold. And was down like 600 rating at one point. It was super discouraging at that point. But then I made a comeback. As I said, I got through the end of gold faster. Got into Diamond League a little bit earlier. Was earning Diamond League chests sooner. Actually had a 150 rating edge on the bot with just a couple days left in the season. Sent out a tweet that I was excited I finally passed the bot. And then in Diamonds, the middle of Diamond, the bot just destroyed me. I actually got up to Diamond 2 and then really fell back that last day. Last day was a real struggle for me. Xbot did pretty well. So it definitely ended up being the clear-cut winner here in terms of rating, higher win percentage. I definitely have to give this aspect to the bot, but battle rating is not really what we're going for, is it? We are going for earnings. So let's go take a look at the earnings and see how each of us did. This is the Dark Squirrel account. This is the one that I played. Earned $12.72 on the season in value. The bot only made $7.97. So I actually earned about $5 more than the bot. But does that really mean anything? Because we know that these are very RNG heavy. It all depends on what you pull from your chest. So I think it's important to actually normalize these earnings. As much as I'd like to claim a $5 victory over the bot, it is important to normalize these earnings. So let's look at just the battle rewards. That's pretty simple, right? The amount of SPS you gain, that has a flat value. That's pretty simple to track. It earned $3.11. I only earned $2.51, so it earned about 60 cents more than me in battle rewards. That's a significant difference. But if we look at the chest up here, Splex will give you the estimated average value of all the chests combined. 938 for me, 939 for me, 871 for the bot. So when you add those both together, I actually beat the bot in expected value on the season by an entire 8 cents. 8 cents more earnings than the bot. So why is that? Why did I earn 8 cents more in estimated value than the bot, despite the fact that the bot basically kicked my butt over here in rating. And it really has to do with how quickly we got to each league and how I played around the daily reset for chest. Because one thing that I factored in, as both the bot and I, we're really going, we'd go up and down, right? We'd gain some, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 1 step forward, 1 step back. And one thing that I did when I was playing, like when I got to, for example, when I got to Diamond League, if I was one battle of falling out of Diamond League and it was getting towards the end of my play session, I just stopped and waited until my focus reset and those chests reset to make sure I was earning diamond chests for the entire next day. Xbot didn't do that, and there were a few times where, yeah, it got into diamond. I think there was one day it actually got like 150 rating into diamond, and then ended up falling completely out and back into gold, and ended its session in gold, and then the next day was earning gold chests, even though it had already reached diamond. And that so being able to play smarter around those chests allowed me to earn more gold chests versus silver chests for the first few days of the season, and earn more diamond chests versus gold chests at the end of the season, like towards the end, the final like 2 or 3 days before the season was ending, when we were going back and forth between gold and diamond. So that was basically the sole source of why I was able to out earn the bot in terms of chest. And that's an interesting thing to look at, because that's probably something that could be fixed by the bot. That's some logic that could potentially be coded in there. We've seen these bots getting better and better over time. Is that an area where they will improve? Possibly. I would counter that by saying, though, maybe if I continue to play on this account, I would also improve, though. Is it a coincidence that I really struggled once I first broke into a league? When I first broke into gold, really struggled. When I first broke into diamond, and that was kind of towards the end of the season, really struggled there. These are cards that I'm not necessarily familiar with. I mean, obviously I'm familiar with the cards, but the exact deck collection that I'm playing with and the combination of cards that I have available, and even when playing at Gold League, they've got less abilities than what I'm used to playing with. That is a change for me. Is it a coincidence that the longer I played with that deck in a league, the better I got? And then as I broke into a new league, I then started to struggle again. I don't know, maybe it's a small sample size. Maybe that's coincidence, or maybe it was me getting more familiar with what I had to play with. Part of me kind of wants to try it for some more seasons just to kind of see, can I do better playing with the same collection in a second season? As much as I'd like to do that, the reality is I like playing with more cards, and I like playing with the cards having all of their abilities. So I will be playing next season in Champion League, going back to Wild. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But what I also want to look at is another kind of question that I wanted to answer with this is, if you own cards, if you own enough cards to make a full deck, and you are, which is better, basically using a scholar account, going through Nifty Arcade, finding a scholar to play, sharing in the earnings, or going and purchasing a bot token and allowing the bot to play. If I was purchasing an Xbot token, it would cost $50 right now to go buy to play in Diamond League. It's $25 playing gold and below, $50 to play diamond and above. So for this experiment here, where we're wanting to get some diamond chests, playing diamond at the end, next season we'd be earning diamond for the full season. You'd want to get the $50 token. So we're earning $12 a season. If that stayed the same, that means it would be season 5 before you actually make back that $50 and are starting to turn a full profit. With a scholar account, you just have profit sharing, so there's no upfront cost. So one of the big questions becomes, what percent can you what percent can you take? Right now, it's an owner's market. There are a lot more players wanting to play the game and to play as a scholar and rent cards than there are people lending them out. So I have no idea what you could actually charge, but let's say you could take 70% of the profit. Let's say that's the number, just for the sake of doing some math. and we stayed consistent at that $12 earnings. Now, obviously, a lot of things change in Splinterlands, and nothing is going to stay consistent, right? But we don't know if it's going to go up, down, which direction it's going to go. So just theoretically, if it stayed the same, it would be over a year before the bot it actually became more profitable with the upfront cost with a bot or with Xbot at the $50 cost than it would be sharing 70% earnings with a scholar. Are you taking 70% earnings? So you'd be giving up 30%. So it's just kind of something interesting to consider. And again, that 70% is a number I completely made up. I don't know what you could actually go get, but I think it's a very interesting model, and I definitely like to see more people take advantage of this. And I'm certainly biased here because I think scholars are better for the game than bots. I just do. As somebody who likes playing the game, like from a gameplay perspective, I like humans over bots. I think humans help the community more than bots do. That type of thing. So I certainly have some bias there. And yes, NFTy Arcade did provide these cards for me to run this experiment, but they did not pay for any of these videos. They are not sponsoring any of this. This is not paid in any way. So this is not a NFTy Arcade advertisement. They just kind of set this up because it was actually something they wanted to know, and they were very curious. And I don't know what their exact motives were, but I kind of mentioned this before, where from on their end, if it shows that using scholars is a better model or a competitive model, that's good for their business, right? If bots dominate and it shows that bots are far better than players, well, hopefully that would be a wake-up call to the team saying, hey, we took a very good player. Now, obviously, I'm not used to playing with these cards in this league, but I'm still overall a pretty solid player, right? I'm definitely better than your average new player that might be trying to get in the game. And if I get crushed by bots, then that's something to take the team and say, look, this is a problem. We can't get people in the game because who wants to play it when bots are better? So that's certainly a more in-depth discussion that we've been having a lot on streams and even done some videos on and everything. So I'm not going to dive into it now. But I think the overall point is this scholar model is a competitive model, even just in looking at what's the best return. If you're trying to get a return on your deck, because it's just profit sharing. You don't have to go buy an expensive token up front in order to run your accounts. So I mean, I think there's justification for going either direction based on what you want. But I don't think it's a clear cut saying, yeah, it's definitely bots are clearly better, so you should just go get a bot or one direction or another. So a lot of it's based on what you've got, based on your long-term outlook on the game. But I really do think this is a competitive model, and I really hope to see it taking off because it's a great way to onboard more players as well, just to get people playing with cards they couldn't typically play with through NFTy Arcade, and I think it's an awesome setup. So thank you so much to NFTy Arcade for providing this. And as I mentioned, I am excited starting tomorrow to get back to my own account. I am moving to Wild, so we'll be playing in Diamond and Champion in Wild, and I haven't played in Wild for a few seasons, but I'm excited to get back to playing with all the cards. I own a significantly smaller percent of the cards in Wilds than I do Modern, so it will be more challenging for me. But there's one good thing about Wild that Modern does not have. Wild has chicken kills. That's right, we have chicken kills in Wild. I am going to be super hyped up the first time I get to play that chicken music. It has been several months since I've had a chicken kill, because I've been playing in Modern. So I am absolutely excited to get back to that. I hope you guys come and join me over on Twitch for those streams. I will see you there.